Hey guys, welcome back to Automotive Cast. Still trying to get my C5 ready for the season. There are a couple little things that have been bothering me about the car, and today we're going to address one of them, and hopefully it'll help you guys out if you have to do the same thing. So when I bought the car, somebody had previously removed the cluster and put like white face gauges on there, and they also put these trim rings on that have since fell off. So I think the adhesive failed. And unfortunately, just from sitting in the sun over an extended period of time, they fell off. Not 100% sure if I want to keep them or not, but I don't want to have them just rattling around in the cluster. It's been bothering me. It looks terrible. And if it makes contact with one of the gauges, obviously it's going to break them. So we're going to attempt to remove this cluster today, hopefully without removing the entire dash pad. So that's what we're going to go through. And like I said, hopefully if you guys are doing something similar to this on your car, that this will help you out. So why don't we get started? Now, before you guys get started with this project, good thing to know is all the tools that you'll need. All right. You need a T15 torque socket, 10 millimeter, 7 millimeter, quarter drive ratchet. And I would recommend grabbing a 6-inch extension because it will make it a lot easier rather than struggling with the 4-inch that I have on there now. I would have grabbed the 6, but my garage is 10 feet that way, and I'm already sitting in the car, so might as well just struggle with this. But that is all you guys will need for this, unless you have an aftermarket shifter, which I do, or gauges mounted on the A-pillar, which I also did. But if your car is a completely stock C5 6-speed Corvette, those are the only tools you'll need. All right, so I'm going to start with removing the A-pillar here. 3 clips that hold this panel on. You should be able to kind of pull it by hand, really, without using that tool that generally pops the clips. They're not the Christmas tree clips, they're the small metal clips, but you'll see them when I actually get them out. So we're going to pull that out. Obviously, I have a gauge mounted on here, so if you have something similar, it's going to take a little bit extra depending upon what gauge you have to remove those, but I'm hoping I can free this. And then generally on the back of these AEM gauges there are 3 like quick removal clips, so I should be able to leave the wiring in there and hopefully just remove the pillar. But we'll get started with that. You should just be able to kind of pull that, so you don't want to pull it straight down, you kind of want to pull it off and almost in towards the center of the car. But you should be able to remove all 3 of those pretty easily. Just slide it forward like so. So obviously we have that free. All right, so pillars out of the way. These are these 2 quick removal clips I was talking about on the back of the AEM. Again, if you have other gauges in your car, all right, there might be other connections, whether it's fuel pressure, boost, whatever the case may be. If you don't have any gauges, then the first part is pretty straightforward. Just remove those 3 clips, slide it out of the way, and you can move on to the next step. All right, moving on, we need to remove this entire like waterfall section here. So from the midway point in your cluster all the way up and around to your ignition switch up here. All right, so you're going to remove this center panel here with your active handling button. All right, that pops up like so. I'm going to gently remove that clip, and then you have 2 10 millimeter bolts under here. Once that's unbolted, all right, this back portion can slide back a little bit, which I'll show you in a minute, and then we can work on getting the shifter knob and boot removed, and then make our way to the rest of the hardware. Okay, got my 2 10 millimeter bolts disconnected from there. You have 2 more additionally back here as well. So with those 4 removed, all right, your whole center console can slide back a little bit, which I'm going to do now. All right, as you can see, we have a small gap here now. Pulled this back. I did forget to mention, you may possibly have a 12-volt cigarette lighter or charger in here. Mine is removed because I ran cables through, so I can actually mirror what is on my phone on the double DIN that I installed this car. But if yours is factory, just make sure you unclip that before you slide it back. So when you pop that cover off with the active handling button, you should have 2 connections on there. Just make sure they are both undone. All right, so next thing we're going to do is I'm going to remove the shifter. This car is equipped with an MGW, so there is a small Allen key on the back side of the shifter knob that will unscrew. Once that's off, you're able to slide the shift boot and this entire panel off. So I will get the shifter undone, and then we can move on to the rest of the hardware that's holding our centerpiece on. Okay, shift knob is removed. There are 2 bolts left to remove. All right, so you have a T15 right in the center cubby here, and then there's another T15 underneath this plastic cover for your ambient air temp sensor. This you can usually kind of pop up by hand like so. All right, and then like I said, 2 T15 screws, and that entire piece should come out. Okay, so with our center console or waterfall removed, you can also go ahead and remove the lower knee bolster around the gauge cluster. All right, so there's a metal clip similar to what was on the A-pillar on this side. And I don't actually know over here because mine was unfortunately broken, which I knew about. It wasn't broken. It was broken before I took this car apart. I think when I put the doubled-in stereo in this car, I noticed that some of the plastics were broken. I still have the pieces, so maybe that's something we'll try and do is glue those back together. Or if I can't find them, or if I can't glue them back together, maybe we'll buy new ones because I hate the dash creaking and it bothers me that they're broken. Okay, so to remove this cluster, without having to remove the entire dash pad, you're going to undo 3 7mm screws. I've already done them, but one is right here by my index finger, which is why we had to remove the A-pillar to get access to it. All right, next one is right here, which is underneath the knee bolster. And then the third and final screw that you will need to undo is right there by my index finger. Once you release those 3, you'll see that the dash pad will actually kind of move up and down. But before you do that, make sure you remove the 2 T15 screws that actually hold the cluster up into the dash pad, because these 2 screws here, there and there, I know you can't really see it, but there are 2 screws that attach this to the pad. So make sure you take that out before you start lifting up on this, otherwise you'll definitely crack something. Okay, so the 2 screws that actually holds the instrument cluster into the car, one is right there. All right, that's going to be on the left side of the steering wheel if you're looking at it. And then your other one, all right, which I happen to already remove, is right back there. And you'll see it a little bit better when we pull it out. It's kind of difficult to get the camera in there or even close. All right, but 2 screws holding those in. All right, make sure you get both of those before you start prying on this because you don't want to break the plastics. Okay, with our 2 final bolts removed from our gauge cluster, all right, you'll be able to see now we have some up and down travel. All right, you can actually start to gently pull this back. All right. Now there is an alignment dowel on the back of the cluster that I'll show you once we get out. You want to make sure you lift that up enough, and you'll be able to see it when you look through the center of the steering column. There's a metal brace underneath that it sits in on the bottom. So just make sure that you have that pulled up enough where you can physically pull it forward towards you. If that tab gets stuck in that metal and you keep yanking on it, it will snap off. So just another thing to keep in mind. All right, and now from this point on, it's pretty much just a wrestling match to attempt to get this cluster out. Now I would recommend the 2 stalks on either side of the steering column. If you can turn those down to buy yourself some more room, you definitely don't want to snap these off either, otherwise you're going to be replacing a steering column. You may have to put some upward pressure on the dash pad. All right, but once you do, you usually have enough room to work that out. All right, so now we pretty much have that free and clear. Last thing we have to do is go in the back and disconnect all of our plugs before we can finally remove this. Now, for a car without heads-up display, which this car does not have, I believe there is only 1 plug. If you do have a heads-up display, you're going to have another plug up in the center here. So I'm going to try and reach my hand back there and struggle to unplug it. clusters out. I will say, when maneuvering this, the last like eighth or quarter inch that you need, all right, obviously you want the steering wheel tilted all the way down, but if you can click it down just a little bit more and hold it with your legs, or have somebody help you and hold it, that will buy you just enough room to squeak this out. If you let it go, you'll see it pop up a little bit like that. But you do need that last little bit of space. So either have someone hold it, or I don't know, hook a bungee cord up to the seat and just make sure that that's all the way down. You don't need to force it. It's just before it locks into its lowest setting, you need that little bit of space to get it out. So, but that's it. Clusters out. And actually, while I was maneuvering this thing, the last ring fell off the fuel gauge. I don't know if you can see it there. So what I will probably end up doing, if I end up keeping these, is I'll pull them all off and just reapply some like crazy glue or something to that effect, just to make sure that they don't pop off again. But that is how to get your cluster out of your C5 Corvette without removing your entire dash pad. I'm going to end it here for the people that just wanted to see how this was removed. That's it. Obviously, the procedure to put it back in is just the exact opposite of what you just did. If you're curious to see how the gauge cluster comes apart, or to see what we end up doing with those trim rings around the gauge bezel, or putting it back in, please consider subscribing. I'll do a separate video on that. We have a lot more stuff for this car. We have a new set of wheels that we're going to be putting on. This thing needs a thorough wash, and also picked up a blower as well. So that'll be coming very soon. Thank you guys for watching. See you on the next one.